Righto, in this video we're going to change the differential oil in my Toyota 86. So this will work on the GT86 FRS, BRZ and Toyota 86. If you've got an early model Australian delivered GT with an automatic transmission, you won't have a limited slip differential. So this is for all the variants with a limited slip differential, which is pretty much most of them. Okay, so what are you going to need in terms of tools? You're going to need some rag, some nitrile gloves to keep your hands clean. You're going to need an oil pump. I bought this one from Total Tools, and it's been really good to get oil into my gearbox and, as you'll see, into the diff as well. So you need some sort of pump to get the oil in there, or there's some new squeezy packs from some of the manufacturers that might work with as well as that pump. You're going to need a 10mm hex bit. I bought both of these. This longer one was the first one I bought. It's fine to do the differential, but it won't be suitable to do your gearbox because that's too long to get to the filler plug on the gearbox, so you need a shorter one. So this one's about 55mm in total length, so a bit over 2 inches. So make sure you get a 10mm hex bit with a 1/2 inch drive that's about 55mm long. You'll need a 1/2 inch drive. Parts, you're going to need gaskets for the differential. These are Toyota ones, that's the part number there. So that does your drain and your fill. Strangely, Subaru have 2 different part numbers for the drain and fill, but I've put these on the calipers and I can't see any difference in the measurements of them. You're going to need some differential fluid. These things take about 1.15 litres of diff fluid. So this is a GL5, 75, 85 fluid. Make sure you use decent fluid and the recommended fluid that's in your user manual on these differentials. So they're a limited slip differential, torsen limited slip diff. So you can buy that oil there. I think it was about 50 or 60 bucks for 2.5 litres, but that'll do you 2 fills because it's a 2.5 litre bottle and you're only going to need about 1.15 litres of it. So the car's been out. I've had it out for a drive. It takes a good 20-25 minutes to get enough heat into your gearbox and your differential to do fluid changes on both of those. So yeah, head out for a decent drive and get plenty of heat into the oil of your diff. I've got this up on a quick jack. You can use jack stands as well, as long as you get the back of the car up safely. If you're using a hydraulic jack, use jack stands as well. Don't just rely on the jack because you're going to be crawling in underneath there and you need to be safe. Also, throw a bit of cardboard or some carpet or something underneath the back there just in case you drip some oil. And also we're going to need a oil drain pan. So yeah, it doesn't need to be massive because we're only draining a bit over a litre out of this thing. Okay, we'll get into it. Okay. So this is the diff. I'll just get it all under here. So we've got the filler hole here, and this is the drain hole. You want to undo the filler hole first, because if you can't fill it, you don't want to be draining it. I've just had a look. The torque specs when you tighten these back up is 36 foot-pounds. So I'll grab a torque wrench when I tighten these up and torque them up to 36 foot-pounds. So we'll just loosen off the filler first. Now that's on a bit tight. Right, got that one. So yeah, so that's why you want to do your filler first. So if you can't get that off, don't drain your diff. So now we'll just do the drain, and we can start to drain the differential gear oil out of this. Right, that's that one done as well. Now I think both of these have magnets on the actual filler plug, and that's to catch any shavings that come out of the differential gears, and I'll show you that in a sec. Okay. So I only did this change probably about 12 months ago, and the car's only done about 5,000 kilometres since then, so this oil's still pretty clean. Now whether you can see, I'll just stop the video and I'll show you the amount of junk that's built up on the back of, or on the magnet on that filler or drain plug. So that's draining there. We'll just let that drain until that stops, obviously, and then we can put our new crush washer on the drain bolt and tighten that back up again. Okay, so here we've got our two plugs. So this is your filler, so it doesn't have a magnet on the top of it, or that big magnet there. I don't know whether that's a magnet in there, it could be. So have a look at that. No, it doesn't look like it. So this is your drain. So obviously this sits in your oil when the car is stationary, not being used, and attracts all the metal that's been worn off effectively of your gears inside your limited slip differential. So I'll just wipe that off with a tissue, and you can see how much material that's picked up. So that's all metal there, so that's why you need to change your differential oil on a regular basis in these cars. When I first got the car, it had 15,000 kilometres on it, and I don't think that the differential or the gearbox oil had been changed at all in its lifetime, and both of these drain plugs on the gearbox and on the diff had a lot of material built up on this magnet, and in the diff the gear oil was quite dark as well. So make sure you're changing your differential and your gearbox oil on a regular basis. I wouldn't go any more than sort of 20,000 kilometres on them. I think the recommended interval is about 40, but yeah, you can see by the amount of material that's built up on that in about 4,000 kilometres, you can imagine what it's going to be like after 20. So yeah, change that on a regular basis. We've got two new crush washers. As I said before, they're the same part number from Toyota, so we'll chuck those on there, those crush washers, and we'll be good to go. So I'll get those off these two plugs, and that's that one gone, and that's that one, and we should be good to go. So yeah, once the oil's finished draining out of that differential, which it probably has by now, we'll truck the drain plug back in. So remember, the drain's got the magnet on it and the filler doesn't, and then we'll start to fill the differential again. Okay, so that has slowed to a drip there now, so we can go and clean off the drain and put our drain plug back in. You want to start this off by hand, because if you cross thread it using a tool, you're buggered. So tighten it up by hand all the way, and then I'll get my socket onto that. So once again, 10mm hex, tighten that up. I won't tighten that all the way, I'll just make that firm, and then I'll come back in a bit later on with a torque wrench and torque that up to 36 foot-pound. So that's pretty tight in there, tight enough for us to fill the diff. So that's next, getting oil back in there. Okay, so I'm going to pump some differential oil back into this thing. So obviously go through into the filler hole with your pump and pump this in. Okay, so this takes 1.15 litres. So I won't show you getting all of this in here, so this will take probably, I think this is about 250 mil, this pump, so it'll take, you know, 4 or 5 of those. But you want to keep putting oil into this thing until it starts to flow out of the filler hole here. So that's when you know you've got enough gear oil back into this diff, and then you can put your filler plug back in and tighten that up, and we'll torque that up to 36 foot-pound, the same as the drain hole. So I'll go ahead and do that and be back. Righto, so all that fluid's in there now, and the filler plug's done up. So I'll just torque these up to 36 foot-pound. And we're done. So pretty easy job, really. And you just need to make sure you get a bit of degreaser and clean up under here. With your old oil, most waste and recycling plants have the facility to recycle your oil, or you can take it to Super Cheap Auto and then drop it off there. So that's pretty much it. Job done. Thanks for watching.